Hi everyone, welcome to K-Drama Hangout, your weekly review into your favorite K-dramas episode by episode. I'm Sarai, and with me I have Melody and Kat.
Hi.
Hi. Hmm.
Alright, so today we will be reviewing Cheese in the Trap, episodes 5 and 6. So if you haven't seen our review on episode 3 and 4, check out the link in the description box below to catch up. So let's just get started. What did you guys think of the last two episodes?
I really liked these two episodes. My biggest realization, I guess, my biggest point that I took away from these two episodes is that I really feel like Sombe is just a misunderstood character. Like, I feel like he's the type of person that, like, his father always, like, showed this kind of love, like how you take care of people in this manner, and so that's how he takes care of other people. He doesn't know any other way of, like, how to love somebody or care for somebody or provide for somebody. So I feel like that's genuinely him caring for her, and it's just misunderstood that he's being a bad person. And one of my favorite scenes, like where I realized that, was where she gives him the watch, the present that she gave him, and she gives it to him, and he's just like looking at it, and he's like, this is for me? Like, why did you get me something? Like, I feel like he's like confused, like, why did I just get something? And so, like, it genuinely looked like he had never received, like, a genuine, gift from the heart before. So whenever he got it, he was, like, so touched by it, he didn't know what to think about it. But he goes home and he takes off his, $1,000 watch and sticks it in the drawer with his 20 other $1,000 watches and puts on this, like, $20 watch, and he's like, yeah, I like this watch. And I'm like, it's so cute because he's so proud of it.
So as I was watching these, I got really, I just kept finding different things that I really like about this drama. And so, like, at some point with, like, the misunderstanding, I started comparing it to, like, my favorite movie, which is Pride and Prejudice, and how, like, Mr. Darcy is always, like, this person who's really misunderstood by all of his actions. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be like that. Like, he's so misunderstood by everything that he's doing. Like, he's honestly doing all of these things, even if they're somewhat, like, what we would consider, like, evil or wrong. Like, he's doing it because he loves her. And so I feel like that was just, like, kind of really interesting to see that. And I guess, like, once I realized that he isn't as cold, like, his image is really misunderstood, was when they were, like, going back, they were staying in her apartment together because of, like, the stalker not the stalker, but the person that was, like, breaking in to get underwear from all the people, I guess. And they were just, like, talking, and they're, like, laughing, and they, like, had a discussion about, like, what their first impressions were, and then they're like, okay, let's go to sleep. And he goes and turns off the light and comes back and, like, smacks his head on the desk. Like, I just started rolling on the floor laughing, and I, like, started crying. Like, I even showed my, like, coworker at work. I was like, watch this scene. Like, you need to watch it because it's, like, hilarious. And then I was like, I feel like it was, like, an outtake, but because it was so, like, they stayed in character, I feel like that's why they kept it in. But you can just tell, like, she kind of wasn't expecting it because she's just laughing on her bed at the end of the scene. I was like, this is perfect. Like, you can see that he's still, like, a human being. Like, he isn't as cold as everyone thinks he is. And he's, like, actually doing these things because he genuinely cares about the people.
That was so funny. Oh my gosh, I loved that part too, because whenever they first, like, because there was that one moment where they laid down, but it was really awkward and they weren't falling asleep, so they got up and, like, looked at photo albums or whatever. So when he was laying there and his head, like, it looked like it was slightly under that desk, and I was like, he's about to jump up and knock his head on the desk. But whenever he got up, that didn't happen. So, like, I had forgotten about that happening. So whenever he laid back down and he just went whack, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, yes! I knew that was going to happen! It was very playful for them because they have such an awkward relationship. So I loved that. that scene.
Definitely. And then speaking of like awkward relationships, I found like Inho and him, like whenever they were like drinking together, and then she like got really drunk really quick, but they were still like, I was only acting this way because she's in front of us, but you know, whatever. But I feel like there's like big misunderstandings between them because obviously we've seen how like what is his name, Yujung, I think he like he does things from behind the scenes for the people he cares about. So like in Ho's mind in his past, like Yuzum just saw him getting beat up and just left it. Like he didn't stop it right then and there. I feel like there was something that Yuzum did in the back scene that helped him later on, but Inho just doesn't know about it. And so whenever Inho was watching the TV waiting for her to come visit him for like to take him out to eat again, I guess, because he always wants to have food with her. Um, and he's just like standing in the rain, like crying and thinking about how like his own mentor who was on the TV was like, yeah, like you're my prodigy, like I'm gonna be there for you, and you're gonna keep growing. And then after his hand injury, he was like, I think you should go through therapy. And then you just see Inho just start breaking down and crying, and I was like, there's like something going on with this, and that's gonna happen. And then like, that was my realization. But I hopefully, like, after the bar incident, I really hope that it's not an awkward relationship with them. But, like, somehow their, like, relationship resolves quickly, like, their misunderstandings with them. Because I feel like they would be, like, a really good romance in this drama.
Yeah, that's we can go back to that in a second. What are some of the things that you saw, Sarai?
Uh, you guys talking about Yu Jung, and I feel I don't know what to say about him because I I don't know if I trust him or I don't trust him. And I mean, I guess I'm really second lead crazy, and I really like the second lead a lot, but I don't know. It's like every time Yujun does something, I'm just like, oh, my heart wants to be like, that's cute and that's great. But something in me just doesn't want to trust him. It doesn't want to trust him at all. And so I second guess everything that he does up to this point. And like I have all my guards down for the second lead. And I feel like it will be really funny if it just switches on me and the guy that I trusted, the second lead, did something bad and Yoojung didn't do anything bad and I was looking at him like that. So now I'm just like, what should I think? I don't know what to think right
And that's one thing I love about what the writers have done with it because we're very much in her position because especially when she straight up, I liked that she straight up went to him and was like, Sombe, what happened with Inho? Like she just straight up asked him. I really liked that she did that. But as whenever she asked him that, like my verbal response was like, are you gonna trust him anyways with whatever he tells you? And so like I straight up asked, can we trust what he says anyways? And whenever he finishes the explanation or whatever, she said, I guess I have to trust him for now, or she thought to herself, I have to trust him for now because what else can I go on or something. So I really like that we're very much in her position, and we're very much seeing her point of view because we, like, I mean, what else do we know at this point? We kind of have to trust him at this point that that's what's really happened. But you still don't know if you should trust him at this point. So yeah, that's another thing that I really like about this drama is we very much are her, the main character.
Speaking of the TA, they're in a relationship, right?
Yeah. That took a while for me to figure out too. I couldn't figure out if they were just brothers or if
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I figured her, like, neighbor was, because he kept calling, like, her, everyone Chagya, but then at some point I got really confused, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is what it means, but, like, I mean,
I couldn't tell. I couldn't really tell until that one scene where Somebody's like, you need to get your life together, and then he walks off, and then they like standing there hugging each other or something like that. I figured that's where they were going with that. Like they were telling us that they were in a relationship, but I wasn't like for sure about it until that scene where they were like hugging each other in the street.
No, I was for sure about it because when the other guy came around, the guy who's the landlady's grandson or something, goes up the stairs and he hears them fighting and they're like in the hallway and he's like, "Don't leave, like Chakia, don't leave, no," that's when I knew. I was like, okay, because they looked at him like he just found out something he shouldn't have known.
I've always been a little more stronger with him than the second lead, but the second lead is the one that's swaying me. Like for you, you've been strong with the second lead and the first lead is swaying you,
Exactly.
but for me, I've been strong with the first lead and the second lead is trying to sway me, but then again, I'm still like, someday he's so cute. I'm like, oh, he's so cute. I keep saying that. I'm like, he's so cute.
And meanwhile, I ship all of them together. So.
So, we haven't mentioned this yet, but I have to be the one to say it. And let me finish, and then y'all can speak. Okay? Okay.
I get too excited. I'm sorry.
All right. So this whole thing about the stalker. Okay. Now, as you guys know, I am reading the webtoon. I still have yet to finish, but reading the webtoon, the show is kind of like taking it in different places, so it doesn't really follow the webtoon exactly, but it jumps around a lot. So this whole stalker scene in the webtoon actually started in the beginning, in the way beginning of the story. We met the stalker guy then, first time we met him. And so when I started watching the drama, I said, oh, well, I guess they took it out because they didn't want that scene or whatever, or they didn't want to do the stalker scene.
Yeah.
So I thought nothing of it, right? And then when he comes in, and I'm thinking, who is this guy? Like, who is he? And then I'm thinking a little more, and then I'm like, no, it can't be him. No, it's him! Oh my gosh, it's the stalker! So then I'm like going crazy because now I'm like, oh my goodness, the stalker is in the show. Crap! So I think he's gonna cause havoc. I'm just saying.
Wait,
I'm not
stalker, not underwear, stalker.
No, yeah, stalker, not pervert. Stalker, not pervert, stalker.
I've been combining both of them in my head, so whenever you were starting to talk about stalker, I was like, oh, huh?
Yeah, soul stalker, not the pervert.
Oh,
Not the
yeah,
underwear.
his makeup is on point.
Yeah, whenever that first came up, I was like, "Ooh, that's not gonna be good news for Sombay." I was like, "This guy's about to like get wiped off the earth from Sombay for stalking her." I'm like, that's bad news bears. Like he's something about to happen to him.
He's about to disappear off the map.
Yeah, like
he's not gonna exist anymore.
Anyway, so anybody have any last thoughts? Yay, nay? Oh, okay. All right, so that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and share and comment below on what y'all think about this episode, what y'all think about what we had to say about this episode. If you want to follow any of us on social media, you'll find our links in the description box below as well, along with the links from last week's episode. Make sure and tune in next week as we review episodes 7 and 8. And until then, keep it dramatic.
Bye.
Bye.